Good morning, everyone. This is Joey up here, and here is another episode of Forge in Fire. Now, today I have a very special guest whom was once an attorney in Miami, Florida, and she has subsequently transited into becoming a very, very successful feng shui master practitioner for the Spanish community. I think her story is very, very interesting. And it's even more interesting right now because she has also personally gone through and experienced the effect and impact of COVID-19 in the United States. So I thought that her story is interesting for people here, especially here in Asia, because we see one thing that is in the news, and it's, as you know, it's totally different to be on site, to be in the country where at this point in time it's the one of the highest infected rates, right? And also where the government is torn between whether or not to restart their economy or keep everyone safe at home. And so this is a big thing, all right? And also a lot of people think that they are the victims of COVID-19, whereas that's what we see in the news. But surely, you know, there's always two sides to a coin. And, you know, there are people who are also thriving in such an environment. There are also businesses and industries that are not reported in the mainstream media where they are doing pretty well. Okay, so maybe we can speak to our guests later on and find out, you know, what are the two sides to this, right? Is it really that people are just suffering out there and all of them losing their jobs? I think that it's about 30 million people I saw in the news. That's what we see here in Asia. But how is it like in the country where we are looking at where the news is coming from? Is it that everyone is suffering, or are there a group of people that are actually doing well? Okay, so this topic of ours today is we talk about what we don't see in the COVID-19 news of the United States of America. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest for today, Paula Gomez. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, Dato. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning and good evening to you.
Good evening to me.
Right, it's nighttime, right?
It's 11 p.m. in Miami, Florida.
Right, I miss Miami, Florida. You know, I've been what's one of my favorite places to visit, especially Orlando.
We had the Chiman Academy there about 2 years ago, correct?
Yeah. Yes, Chiman Academy just 2 years ago. It's a very nice place to be. The weather is nice and fine. And of course, Miami, the I remember there's a row of restaurants overlooking the is it the beach area?
Yeah, Lincoln Road or Collins Avenue, South Beach.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite places to be. All right. So how is it like really on the ground there?
It's it's like you live in a parallel universe. That's the way I'm gonna describe it, JY, because you hear the news, you see the news, and sometimes you wonder, am I living in the same place of what I'm seeing being reported?
Right. It's not as bad as it sounds, right? Is it?
It is bad. I'm not gonna lie. It is bad. There's a lot of people, as you know, the death rate is pretty high. We do have more than the 33 million people unemployed. I would say the number is higher than that for many reasons. There is a lot of documented people that cannot report that they don't have an income anymore. So that's not reported. There is also a huge issue with testing. Huge issue with testing. I hear the news, and you know there's testing for everybody, and there isn't. And I can tell you that from personal experience. Everybody that needs a test is getting a test. I can tell you from my personal experience. I lost somebody very dear to my family, my father-in-law, about 3 weeks ago. And I can tell you that he passed away, and a week after he passed away is when we got the test result that he was positive.
Oh, you actually didn't know at that time?
It took 2 weeks for him to get the test result. And when this happened, my husband, who was exposed, tried to get tested. And he said, my father passed away, I need to get tested. No, you don't have any symptoms. Okay, but my father passed away. I want to make sure I'm not infected. I want to make sure I don't put my family, my people at risk. And it took a whole ordeal and about 5 hours waiting in line from him to get tested after a lot of who knows who.
Oh, okay.
I tested and he tested positive. I'm negative. I'm sorry. He tested negative, so that's a blessing.
Right.
But
So,
it's not as they make it like sound like it's available. There's million tests available. No, there isn't. It isn't the way.
I see. Right. So it's easier to get a test right here in Asia.
Yes.
We can even test it at home if we wanted to have. If we wanted to do that, I think there is some medical people who can actually do that. So I think that here's the big difference. But probably we have a less population in this side of the world, right? So and now, so the situation that we see right now, that so many people are unemployed, and they are going for they report that they are unemployed, right? That's how they get the numbers.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
There's something called unemployment insurance or unemployment pay that you go online or you file a physical form and then you say I'm unemployed. We have a $2.2 trillion package that was approved where people got an extra amount of the usual state issued.
Wow.
So yeah, people have that, and that there's a lot of conflict and debate also on the unemployment insurance.
So the thing is, do they feel they are better off going for the unemployment because they have a package?
There is two scenarios, There's two scenarios. You have the family, the single mother, the single father, who needs that unemployment check once because they lost employment, the legitimate employment, right. Or two, yes, or they cannot go back to work because I have children at home I need to take care of, and schools are closed.
Right, of course.
And sometimes, not always, but a lot of the times, the unemployment pay that they're receiving is higher than the regular pay.
Right, so I see.
Some people look at it while they're taking advantage. I don't believe that's unemployment complacency at all. However, there are people that I personally know, because I deal with a lot of clients on a daily basis, mostly millennials, unfortunately, who are collecting unemployment, making more money than they were before, sitting at home without producing anything, without educating themselves, without bettering themselves, without getting better skills for life later. That to me is unemployment complacency. They're taking advantage of the system, in my opinion. But I think that's why it's two sides of a coin. I think the people that need it, and then there is the one that shouldn't have it and should be trying to get ready for what.
That's the same around the world. There are people like that, of course, right? And of course, we strive not to, be people like this. We try to, encourage everyone to, become better. But unfortunately, this is everywhere in the world, right? But let's talk a little bit about you, so that the audience, especially my audience here, would understand a little bit more about you. You have been a lawyer for 18 years, right? How do you end up, in this path of metaphysics, especially now, famous feng shui master in your part of the world? Tell us the story.
Well, it's pretty interesting. I was an attorney, as you mentioned. I was practicing, and my husband was the one that got me started, because he started finding out and studying about feng shui. Not with you back then. That was many years ago.
Many years ago, right?
Many years ago. So he was the one that got me started, and I really thought he was crazy. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I had a love for him, and every time he would tell me to do things, I would do it, and it would get better, and it would work. I'm like, oh, maybe he's onto something.
So usually it's the other way around, right? Usually,
don't ever tell him I said that. Don't ever tell him he was right, please. I'll take that to my grave. And then I started thinking, okay, maybe I need to know how this works.
Okay.
Like, I need to know. And I got onto my computer, who's the best feng shui master in the world? And guess whose name came up?
Right.
So I Googled, I contacted you. You had a class coming up in New York, an FSA.
Right.
And then you had the feng shui mastery program in KL. So I signed up. I went, and then I came back and I told my husband, this is it. This is what I want to do.
I remember that part of the story. So you texted me, and it so happened that I was actually looking at the text at that time, because I normally don't look at it. We have a team of people actually doing the answers, and because sometimes, I do it once a week, and so happened that I was there, and you told me I answered you personally.
Which I didn't think it was you. It was 2 a.m. And I remember when I told my friends, Dato responded. They were like, oh, it's somebody from his team. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then when I met you in New York, I remember that I told you, "Hi, my name is Paola," and you immediately said, "Oh, the attorney from Miami."
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember it was really him. So it was very important to me.
Affinity. I think that's the affinity. You know, we have some form of connection, right? Otherwise, of so many people, I mean, how could that moment happen, right? So I like that story.
It was a life-changing moment, Dato, because I really was able to. I will never change the 18 years that I practiced law because it got me to where I am today. It was a beautiful experience, but I think Chinese metaphysics has led me to understand a lot of things about my life, and my business now is much better than it was when I was practicing law, because I'm able to use a lot of the techniques and formulas and understanding to better my business and to better everybody else's life, which is why.
Yeah. I think your practice as a lawyer, as an attorney, has given you the analytical thinking, the business experience, the life experience that you needed to have first, so that you can implement your feng shui and your metaphysics techniques effectively. Because I find that that's quite common with successful practitioners, is that they actually have a backstory, and that actually allowed them the experiences to coach other people. And I think that's why you are so effective in what you do. It's because of your experience in life.
And that it helps you think for yourself. It makes you question things. It makes you find the authority of everything. Just like a law book, I want to find out why everything. I understand the cause, and then make my own decisions on whether I believe it's true or not based on what others tell me.
Yeah, because I think with a thinking mind like yours, makes learning metaphysics much better, much more effective, and also you then also help to spread the the more authentic and original side of metaphysics, shred from all the snake oil image and all that. Because there are a lot of people, I'm sure, in the States, right, have a misconception in what feng shui is. What's the usual view when people talk about feng shui?
Yes, it's very criticized. I'm not gonna lie. It's opening up thanks to you and a lot of other practitioners and masters here.
Thanks to you as well. You are doing a lot for the Spanish community.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to do that. We're trying to teach everybody that it's with your information, and you are the main source of chi. You are the main source of energy. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need to place a lot of things. It's just place yourself, your thoughts, your mind, and your actions in whatever it is that you need, and you'll see the results. And
yes, of course. Wow, nice. Now, you're from the States. You're from Florida. Can you tell our group of people who are watching this right now, what's it really like? Because the CNN news, I don't know. We watch CNN here. It seems drastic, and CNN doesn't like Donald Trump at all. Okay, but surely it cannot be that 100% of whatever he does is wrong, right? So it's a bit too extreme. And then there's Fox News, which is the other news. Seems to be they must be best buddies with Trump.
Yes,
it is, right?
We have two extreme medias, and that's the way I would like to place it. And going back to what you said, when you are educated, when you have information, you're able to watch the facts by yourself and not let yourself be influenced by either side. Because there has been time that I'm watching the news and I'm watching a press conference by the president, and then you watch Fox News and you're like, that's not what I just saw. And you watch that's not what I just saw. None of it is what I just saw. So it's very confusing. What I will say, we're very confused. Because you have the medical experts who should be the ones giving medical and advice right now.
Right.
But then you have the federal government telling you one thing, you have the state government telling you another thing, then you have the local government. So
the state government doesn't have to listen to the federal government?
And in some things, like for instance, as far as opening up, each state has their own discretion to open based on the regulations of the state. No.
Right, because at one point I think Trump wants to lock down, right? And then the state government say, no, we're not locking down. And now it's like, I don't know, isn't he the president? You're supposed to listen to this, or what's happening?
No, he needs to refresh a lot of his knowledge of the Constitution.
Okay.
And it's like, I was a constitutional law attorney, so I know.
Right. So he's just saying it.
Yeah, he's talking to his followers. He wants people to think. Mind you, he has power to do many things, but the final power, whether states open or doesn't open, is on a state. level. So that, and then you also have the counties, and then that's why it's very. Sometimes you're listening and you say, okay, so should I wear a mask? Should I not wear a mask?
Yeah.
He says he wasn't wearing that, but the medical expert said you should.
Yeah.
So it's very confusing.
Speaking from people here in Asia, you should.
You should, absolutely.
Yeah, if you go out of the house, you should wear one. It reduces the chances of infection significantly. Yeah, so if you can, you should wear one. And the thing is this, for our side here, of course, everyone is looking at the elections coming, and his biggest competitor is, what does he call him? Sleepy Biden, right?
Yeah, he has a nickname for everybody. It's like we're in high school again. Yeah, I mean, who does? I mean, well, yeah, he calls him Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, it says he's got all these names. Now the thing is this: many people do ask me, right? What are the chances of him and with whoever his contender is? Based on parts, this guy is strong, as you can see, right? But his real winning power is his ability to entertain.
The hook.
And yeah, the hook, right? If you think about it this way, right? Substance or not is another question. But when you look at him compared to all the other competitors, if you are going to be a statesman or a politician, at some point you need to be able to tell good stories like him. And when he does something like that, the last one was the disinfectant that he was talking about. People just watch. I will see it and like, oh, this sounds interesting.
It's entertaining.
Right. Of course, accepting it or not is another question because we know how to think. But the general public, right? The general public, between him and another person, even let's say Hillary Clinton or whoever is talking, they are less attractive. And even though they may have more substance. So this is one thing to beat the hook. Right? I think you guys, Paula, you need to go and teach them about Cheeman. How do you beat the hook? You got to be more interesting and entertaining than the hook because they will hook you with this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you cannot go high when you have somebody at that level. You have to meet them at the level to be able to.
All right.
That's what. Yes.
And so far, we're not seeing the other competitors being able to do that. That is the unfortunate setback of this. Knowing, for us, when we know the metaphysics part of it, in order to defeat the hook, you gotta have a phoenix.
You have to have a phoenix. Absolutely, you do.
Right. So right now we don't have one. You get all those who are maybe a chief or lower level chief, maybe star 3. It's very hard to defeat a high level. I think it was level 6 or 7. Hook.
I believe, I think it's a 7 hook. He has the ability to hook people, and he hooks the people that are at that level, and those are the people.
The majority is at that level.
He has fans and followers.
The fan base, and fans would not appeal to logic; it would just appeal to emotions, and he does that really well.
He does
right. So that it's in, and he knows how to use his this type of ability quite well. So that's why even in CNN they have a field day, like really, and Fox, I think their ratings will just go up because of this guy over the years. Right. And I think recently I saw the news. He was like, he refused to do a press conference because the media was. I thought, wow, this is like.
You have to laugh. You have to laugh. Yes, he refuses to do media because the media portrays him in a bad light, and what he means by bad light is actually
they don't agree with
what he's saying.
Right. So bad light means they don't agree with him, right?
But if you confront him with a lie, then that's fake news. That's what you do. I mean, but that's what you said. But that's not what I meant to say. But that's what you said. Well, that's fake. Oh, I guess. I mean,
but it's entertaining. It's entertaining, right?
Can you please meet with him, Dato? Can we hire you to meet with the president, please?
I don't know. My chief is not high enough to entertain to be able to counter him. You got to find someone else with that sort of. You look at like Bloomberg, right? Michael Bloomberg he has all the caliber and ability to handle, but he cannot face a level 7 or level 6 chief because he's not entertaining enough. Yeah. And if you look at it in this way, you will see why, he wins, not because of the policies and all, but he knows how to use his ability really, really well.
He knows he has a fan base, he knows he has the followers, so he speaks to them, and that's it. And that's it. Yeah. They're not going to change. That's just who it is. What we need to make sure is that we talk to the other side, but we need somebody as powerful or as good at storytelling,
Who was the guy in New York I see that challenges him right now? Was a really interesting story.
Well, Andrew Cuomo, the governor.
Yes. Did you check his chart?
I have not checked it yet for Chiman purpose. I checked his BASA chart, and he's definitely he's a contender.
Let's have a look at his chart on someday, right? We should talk about this chart, maybe, right? But he's not right now. He's not going for no, he's not fighting for the president's place, right?
No, but we're looking and talking and see if for 2024 we might have something like that. It will be very interesting, interesting because
nice.
yeah.
Well, speaking of that, does the Spanish-speaking community people think you're crazy when you suddenly now full-time feng shui, but you're doing really well what you do, right? But when you first started, I'm pretty sure, right, just like all of us, it's not easy.
The good thing is that I have the support of my entire family. I have always been blessed that my family have always supported me in everything I do. So yes, and I wouldn't say so much because it was feng shui dato as much as it was, I'm an attorney to go do this, this crazy little thing, right? So you must be crazy. You probably lost your license. You probably got disbarred. You probably broke. No, I wasn't. I didn't. I'm still licensed. It was hard, but I am proud to say that I'm not gonna say all of them, but I will say 99%, just in case there's one out there. If you don't believe in me, you know, that's the attorney of me talking. You know, I have to be careful. It's my client today.
Right. So I think the results is what results is the one that is making the difference, because you are doing really well right now, and even on this side in Asia, people start to talk about you. As you can see, you know, you're an inspiration to many people. So you're not just famous in Miami, you're famous all over the States to anyone who speaks Spanish, and now also here in Asia. Maybe you should come over here and do some talks.
I will be. It's in my plans. In Europe too. I was in Spain February when this whole thing broke. I was in Spain doing a talk for the Year of the Rat. But absolutely, I would love to go to Asia and do something. That would be great. Yes.
Yeah, that would be like wow. This is like a big thing, right? Because you know, the thing is, people will say, oh, you're not Chinese and all that, right? But actually, it's not that. It's the mind that is important. People don't see that. It's the ability to see and think and analyze and provide solutions. And I think you have got that training before as an attorney, and you're able to provide solutions because you can give it in a structured way and effectively check on making sure the results, you know, become real. So that's the biggest difference between people who just talk about feng shui and tell you what it is and isn't, and then they don't follow up with it, right? This is what I see the biggest difference with a lot of people who practice any art, not just feng shui, right? Any art in this world, they can talk all about it, but until you can make it happen, right, and follow through and help implement it, it's not a real art.
I agree. Right? You probably don't remember this data, but in I believe it was the Chiman Academy in California. I have taken them all. That's why I come to keep track. But I believe it was the Chiman Academy in California that I asked you. I said, Dato, how can I make people believe in what we do? And I remember you said, become successful yourself, and then people are gonna have to believe you.
Right.
You told me that. I don't know if you remember. You told me that, and then I said, well, true. And you gave the whole thing with the Rolex. You cannot expect people to believe that you're a Rolex salesman if you're driving a less expensive vehicle, you know? Yeah. So I needed to become my result. So I worked on myself. I worked on my family, my finances, my everything. Now, okay, here it is. It works.
Yes, that's the most important, because we gotta be, you know, we gotta be the results that we are talking about. Yeah. So I think many people don't see that, because they hold on to just the theory of feng shui or the theory of metaphysics or the art, right? Any art is the same. They just keep talking about the art. It needs to be authentic. It needs to be true. And then if you look at their lives are messed up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I absolutely think that this is important. Fix ourselves first, right? If we fix ourselves, we can be our best testimonial.
If you cannot fix yourself, you cannot fix anybody else. If you cannot inspire yourself, how can you inspire somebody else? You can't.
Yeah, that's absolutely so true. Now, tell me, you were talking about your father-in-law earlier on, and he was a victim of COVID-19. So did they manage to trace where he got it from, or is that how it works there in the States? Because here, if they found someone with COVID-19, they would trace which cluster they come from, and it will track and make sure they can get everybody. So how does it work there?
No, that's not even close.
Not even close.
No,
Oh, okay.
not even close. He wasn't following social distance. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. We go back to the media. He was watching a lot of news where this was the Chinese virus. So Chinese people had it. So it was not very. He wasn't taking care of himself the way, which was very sad, very unfortunate.
Unfortunately.
So he started getting a little bit sick. A little bit sick. With that, within a week, he went from being okay to dead.
Oh no! Right.
So it was.
So he had some complications before this. His health.
He had nothing. He was in his early 80s, but pretty much healthy. Had diabetes, but what I'm saying is he wasn't sick. He didn't have lung issues. He didn't have any of that. So he started with a little bit of a cold. So my husband and his sister took him to the hospital just in case. He was going to be released from the hospital.
Oh wow! Okay.
It took a turn for the worse. Next day, he's on a ventilator. 4 days after that, he passes away. Oh, no. A week later, my husband and his sister trying to find out what did he die of. Mm-hmm. Then we have COVID. And by the way, and one of the things that we go back to, we were able to find out that his death, chances are didn't count as a COVID-19 death in Florida because he got the test results after he passed away. It's crazy. Wow. It's very disorganized. It's very disorganized.
Right. So and they're going to open up the economy right now. You were just telling me, right? So
yeah, it depends. There's some states that gyms, beauty parlors, bowling alleys are being open. Go figure.
Right.
I don't understand why, but that is in Florida as of today. We haven't opened. There's talk of maybe next week, maybe the week after that. But definitely no school for the rest of the school year for the kids. So we're happy about that, which either way, I wasn't going to send my kids even if they open school. Yeah. I mean, one thing is the government tells you on the rules, but you make your own decisions. You make your own based on what you see and what the doctors, not the politicians, tells you. What the doctors say. If the doctor says it's not safe, then it's not safe for me. When they tell me it's okay, then it's okay for me.
Yeah, I think there's, I can sort of understand, why there's one group who, don't want to go out because it's not safe and because you have lost someone to COVID-19. And of course, that is a different impact for you. You don't want to go be in clusters of people and all that. But I also can understand from the business side, the small business owner side, from their perspective, it must be very hard for them right now because they in order for, the founders of any business, right, and you've been through this as well, have put in a lot. Some even put in their lifetime savings. They risk their relationships, they risk their kids' future, everything to put into the business that they started. And to come to this point and not being able to, sustain, they might lose everything. That fear of not being able to survive far exceeds the fear of COVID-19. Absolutely. So, I can understand from both perspectives. And I heard that even Macy's in the States are probably going to close down, or AMC, right? The theaters, right? All over cinemas. So they've been there for like 80 years, right? And they're closing down. So it's quite scary. And all this business have a founder behind them, right? The mentality of someone who took enormous risk to start this, right? And now they are facing on the verge of bankruptcy because they're closed down, right?
And that one, I believe that's where I guess you and I come in with the way we see things. Every time I see that and I'm watching the news, I'm watching it with the business opportunity mentality.
Yeah.
The first time I thought about AMC, which I believe is AMC, closing down, I started thinking, again, I don't know how to do it. I'm not a techie person, but I'm saying, okay, why don't you open up some kind of Netflix or some kind of streaming service and call it AMC Stream? I don't know. And then stream the movies and charge me every month, compete with what you already have. In my mind, I'm thinking there are business opportunities that you have there available, and all these millennials with all this time and knowledge of technology, do something. There's so many opportunities.
That's true. Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. Probably people in America and here in Asia is that you guys, I think everyone, as in more people in the States are thinking about let's do something, right? Even if they're home. But I think it's a little bit different here in Asia because the culture is basically like, the cultural difference when you come here. right? When we see people from your part of the world, the first thing you guys will do is you're going to hug us and kiss us. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's good. Stand there, you know. So
that happened to me a few times. Yes.
a few times, right? It takes some getting used to for your side and also for a lot of Asians. Of course, if we are well traveled, we've been around the world, we've seen that, we're okay with it. But for a lot of Asians, we don't do that, and that includes. We see a business go bust. Let's think about something. It's not in culture to think about that, unless we train ourselves to be like that.
Yeah.
Right. What was the culture shock for you here when you came over to this side of the world?
Well, you mentioned that was a big shock, because usually in my community and the way I grew up, you meet somebody, you shake their hand and you hug and you kiss. That's what you do. So I remember, and I will never forget your brother Eddie. The first time I met him, he's like, "Hi," and he gives me his hand. I'm like, I go like that to hug him and kiss him, and he looks at me like, "What are you doing?" Like, sorry. Kenny still remembers that. I think it happened to Kenny with Kenny too. But that was a big shock. So I had to make sure every morning, do not hug anybody, do not kiss anybody.
Right.
Don't do that.
I think that is probably one of the biggest cultural changes for now, in order to prevent COVID-19, right? Because culturally, you're very warm. You guys are so warm. You were kiss and you hug, but that especially without a mask, right now, that could increase the chances. Don't you think so?
Yeah, it's not, I at least I can speak from my own experience. It's not gonna be the same way as it was before. I think it will never be, because even when we surpass the COVID, we still have the flu. We still have other viruses and bacteria that can be, I'm like, it's gonna keep us safer, period. So I think we need to go back on that. Yes, we do.
Yeah. So I think, that cultural changes is necessary. Now, let's talk about the opposite side of all this. Are there financial opportunities right now that we actually don't see in the mainstream media, okay, that is happening? So in the States especially, let's talk a little bit about that from your perspective. Are there people who are doing well right now?
Yes, and I'm going to say first, I guess the attorney in me has to clarify, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a person speaking from my own experience. Right. Yes, Dato, I refinanced my mortgage, my sister, my brother, my mother's in the process of doing it, because interest rates are very low, very, very low. And you can save hundreds of dollars refinancing your mortgage. And that's something that a lot of people are not thinking about. Take advantage of mortgage rates right now and refinance your property, because it can save you a lot of money monthly on your payments. A lot of people are doing that and they don't know they can do. Also, buying properties. We're in the process of buying some investment properties, not to flip them. We're not going to buy them to make money next year, because that's not going to happen. We know that. But prices are going to drop significantly in the real estate market pretty soon.
They already dropped significantly, right? Right now, they already dropped a lot. They already reduced and drop in price a lot.
Which is why you have to hurry up to refinance, because the price value of my property a month ago is not the same price value as it is today. Wow. So you need to go ahead and refinance as soon as possible. And if you want to buy, you can still wait, but it's definitely a great buyer's market. So if people that want to buy property, this is the time to do it too. So there's a lot of.
And might I add that this is the best time to look for good feng shui properties that was not originally available during good times.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because you have the upper hand. You can negotiate a better price for a better property. Absolutely.
And and of course you are very familiar with your area. So are you eyeing some good areas now on your own?
Yes, we have our eye on a few little things that we're getting ready for period 9.
Wow. Also, now we all know about period 9, of course, and I always tell all our students, and that, to prepare for the future. But you're actually one of those that do prepare for period 9.
That since 2018, I have been prepping all my students and all my clients for period 9. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie and say that I knew this was coming, this virus, because I didn't see it. But I knew we were moving to a world of technology. So I have been using Zoom since 2018 with all my clients, with students, because we knew this was gonna be the way. So yes, I have been prepping for period 9 for a while. Yes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our students have did this not for COVID-19, of course, because COVID-19 is not in our books and all that. So we don't see that, but we saw that the need to actually do this. Like many people ask, hey, did you predict? They asked me, right? Did you predict this problem? Well, we saw the results of the virus, which is the financial problem, the downturn of the economy. That was the outcome. So in astrology and metaphysics, we can see the outcome, but we can't see the actual cause in there. That is the issue that I think many people are like, oh, I need to know this. Even if we know that, like, we can't do much about the COVID-19 because it's a collective world effort, but we can do something about the effects, right? Exactly. So right now you could refinance, right? In our case, we make sure that our cash flow is fine way before we needed to make sure the cash flow was fine. So if we did all that, right now, really, it's a buyer's market.
It's a buyer's market. And you know that, well, I'm sure, well, because of Chinese metaphysics, June is going to be a tough one. December is going to be a tough one. So if you think things are going to go back to normal or the way they were, or let's open up the country, you're going to open up the country. You can open it up tomorrow if you want, but it's never going to be the same thing it was in April or in March before you closed. It's not, because things have changed, and we have to be prepared for a very probable and possible second wave.
Yeah, and I think second wave is tougher than the first wave. So hopefully everyone stays safe in your part of the world. Well, here, I think people we get to see a bit more balanced news. I'm not thinking that everything we see on news is true, but at least everyone is taking care of themselves. We're trying to keep safe. We keep personal hygiene. That's what I think you need to practice a little bit of Asian culture.
I agree with you. You don't have to sell me that. I agree with you 100%.
For the time being.
I'm okay with that. Whatever keeps us safe.
Right. And you are now teaching Feng Shui online, right? You've done that since 2018, and you're still doing it. How's business?
Business is great. Business is great because a lot of people want to learn. I think it's also the period 9 bug is biting a lot of people. So technology and inspiration and spirituality and women. I mean, 99% of my clients and my students are women, and we have been getting ready, and they want to know more. They want to know more.
Right. I guess this is time, especially if everyone's stuck at home, they better have good Feng Shui, right? If you're stuck at home, if you're bad Feng Shui, it sucks to be you,
You should have done your homework last year, Dato, when we were telling everybody, get your Feng Shui done, be in your job, get your stuff ready. Everybody.
We always talked about the need to have a home office, especially a home office in good Feng Shui.
Yeah.
And now, if you have a home office in a good Feng Shui location, this is a time where survival is easier and thriving is a possibility.
Yes, you can definitely.
This is so good, right. So now, are there? So you have transited to delivering digitally or online, even in your consults, right? Or you have done this before. So this is not too difficult for you.
This is not too difficult and not too new, because still, I will say 80% of my consults have always been online, because very few of my clients are from Miami. They're from all over the world. So I was still doing Zoom consults and doing everything online, Google Earth and plotting everything and software. And so this is not new. This is my life. My work has not been affected.
Right. Very fortunate.
Everything is, I'm teaching classes, I'm teaching everything, and it's online, which is the same way I was doing it before.
Right. People don't see that aspect of being able to work from home, but work from home is not a new concept to us practitioners since many years ago. I think in class, we have talked about it so many times that you could do metaphysics from home. Remember, we said that many times, and this was done way before there was a lockdown.
Yeah.
So the transition to working from home is not a new. I think maybe for some clients, maybe because they are on the receiving end of the service, because some of our function requires them to go to our place. But the concept of doing it, delivering from home, is not that new, because we've been doing it for some time, right? So, and is it easier for the people in the States? Because here, onboarding clients to the online platform, it's not so easy for Asians.
I haven't had an issue, because you use very simple platforms where basically here's the link, make sure you have a mic. You usually have the issues with the mic and the camera, but it's pretty good. I have a great team that helps me, just like you do. So basically, by the time they come to me, issues have been fixed.
Right. That's so nice. That's very nice. So I see so many of your students listening to your talk right now, and I'm really proud of you. You have done really well in the last couple of years, and you're still growing. That's a very, very good thing to see, because that positive energy, that spirit that you actually carry and you transfer to other people, that actually changes the world. And that's one of the main reasons why we started doing this, is so that we could in a small way, right? Because we're only just one person, but in a small way make some change. And I like that. That's really good. Doing very well.
You inspired me. You touched my life. You changed my life. So I wanted to do the same.
I know. You inspire me too. But every time I see these results, I'm really happy, because this is the whole reason, we set up an academy, is to see, more people flourish, and metaphysics now doing its job, especially in times like this. We hope to be able to be that candle that lights up other candles. That was
and positivity, that which is the reason why I stuck with you, because I've studied with other people, but you tell me things the way they are, but you also give me hope. You give people hope, and that's, I think, the business that we're in right now, telling people you're gonna die and life is horrible. No, this is the potential, but you take action and you can change and shift and pivot where you want to go.
I think more so now than any other periods in our life, we actually need to do more. We need to light up more lives, because right now metaphysics is period 9. Period 9 is metaphysics and technology, and people are moving into a spiritual path. Don't you see that in your clients as well?
Absolutely. Yes.
Right, they're moving towards that holistic approach in life, the spiritual approach in life. You see that a lot, right?
More open mind, people very open-minded. A lot of my clients, doctors and attorneys and engineers, a lot of professionals that you never would have thought would consider it. Can you do my Chiman chart? Can you do my BATSA? Can you tell me when should I release this product? It's very inspiring that people have that ability to want to know more about this thing, this mystery.
Right. So what advice would you give now for people who would like to take this up with you? What's the first steps they need to take?
I'm sorry?
To start their journey now, because you teach in your community, right? If they want to get in touch with you and they want to connect with you, what would the first steps be? Should they go to your website, or should they email
you? Go to my website, yes, which is www.masterpaola.com.
Okay, masterpaola.com.
Yes, and my Facebook page is Master Paola Feng Shui. That's more up to date. My Feng Shui page.
All right, so I typed it in the comment section. And by the way, if you have more questions right now, we're going to open up to the floor right now. How many of you are inspired by what Paola is talking about? Type a 1 in the comment section right now. But give me a 1. You can see the comments, right? There's so many of this.
Let me see. I'm trying to see so I don't put the button.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead and click a 1 here now. Oh, see this.
I see a lot of her. Oh, she's.
Wow, from Peru. Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. So yeah, some people want to follow you now from Asia. Nice. Very good.
Oh, thank you everybody. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I typed your link onto the comment section as well, and you got a lot of great followers here, and they will follow you now. And so let's look at this one.
Yeah, that was a wonderful, inspiring story. Thank you, Dr. for the interview. It's an honor to be part.
Preparing for period 9. Great. Do you have a period 9 workshop? I think you should.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
You should have one, because now
I should have one in Spanish. I was letting Iverson. I took it with Iverson, but I think we should do it in Spanish, Tato.
Yeah. Do one for the Spanish community. Start preparing for period 9. I think it's best to prepare. I think they should prepare for this year as well, the next 6 months, because it's never too late to get ready. Especially now in lockdown, right? You call it lockdown or quarantine in the States?
It's supposed to be lockdown and stay home. Stay home.
Stay home. It's called a stay home, right? We call it an MCO here. It's a movement control order, and in Singapore they call it a circuit breaker. In some ways it's a quarantine, right? So
I think that's the general consensus. But I believe that, just to add something with the period 9, you know what I believe is the biggest misconception? That a lot of people are waiting for 2024 because period 9 is 4 years away.
We knew that it was 2017, 2018 was the change. Remember, we were talking about that long ago. Yeah. And that was the heaven luck changing, and earth luck changes at 2024. Don't wait till 2024 to do the change, because then it will be too late, right? So the change should happen now to so that we could benefit from this. And it's not just choosing an industry. It's basically we need to, you know, I'm sure Paula will tell you, you know, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically be ready for this. And even if you can't get all four, get one of them aligned, the benefit is immense. You know, so I think all our top masters in our group, they all have their own period 9 talks.
Yeah, it's
right. Iverson is doing it. You know, I think Dawson is also doing it. You know, I think you know, Nancy, Kevin Chan, everyone have their own preparation because we are from different parts of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody identifies with different type of people. Not that anybody's better than the other. It's just your energy vibrates better with another person.
Different experience is so important because you have your own, you resonate with different different energy, of course, and also you come from different parts of the world. You see different solutions for even maybe different problems, right? So it's great to listen to different people who are successful like yourselves and learn how to prepare for the upcoming period, because it's not preparing is a mistake. Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. When you prepare for something, you're ready for battle. That's it. You can show up to a war without your equipment and without a plan.
Right. I think the issue with some people, they think like this question here, I think is quite interesting. A lot of houses are good in period but will start to become bad in period 9. That's a misconception. Because they see that right, and we all know it's just using the same house differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And our lives do it a bit different, right? Run our lives a bit different. But for the average person, they think that the house just become bad, their lives will become bad as a result.
Or they have to remove the roof and then put another roof so the flying stars can change, but then I have the 5 in the door and there's the of everything. So no, you just have to align yourself with the period of that, with the energy of that period, and then find the spots in your house that has the best energy for that time. It's that simple. It's not big, but if you want to make it complicated, then it will be very complicated.
Yeah, there you go, Michelle. All right, I think Michelle is from Asia. Probably she needs to fly to Orlando or connect. Now she doesn't need to fly to Miami. She can just connect with you on Zoom.
On Zoom, online. We can do everything online. Absolutely.
We could access everything just from the comfort of our own home, right? So yeah. Wow, this is a good question. What is important change that the feng shui made in your life? For which reason do you study Chinese metaphysics?
That what is the most important change? It made me understand and believe that I do have the power to change many things. I don't have the power to maybe what the result will be, but I know that I have the power to how I'm going to react to whatever result it is. Right. So that makes me feel in control of the situation.
That's nice. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I don't have fear anymore because I know that I can deal with whatever scenario, whatever solution, or whatever outcome or consequences of whatever I take.
I think that's the issue, right? Uncertainties we had before metaphysics are lesser. I can't say 100%, but much lesser with having metaphysics in our life, right? By the understanding feng shui and qigong, we have lesser fear because now the unknown becomes known.
Yes.
Right. And otherwise we don't know what to do with the economy is tanking, 30 million people, no jobs, you know, and then it's always there's this fear out there. And I guess for all of us here is that our fear level reduces because now we have more certainty of the future because we know that we can do something about it.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree? Right.
Yes. You have control. You have control of how you're going to react to things. And yes. And you're not a victim anymore. It takes away the victim mentality. You're not a victim. Things don't happen to you.
Right. And you told me that the more women, you have more women students, right?
Yes.
They're professionals as well? Or
yes, I have an amazing group of empowering women practicing feng shui and Batsa, and 2 men.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have 2 men, but most of them are, and they are, I mean, not because they're my students, Dato, but they're amazing women, professional, smart, all of them from different parts of the world, by the way. They're very few are from Florida, from many parts of the world, and they're incredible with their own journey, their own life experience, and their own careers that they have left to do this. So they're very powerful, very, very all of them.
Excellent. So now, then they are probably doing a very important job right now, right? Because now that they've learned what to do, they could support their families, they could support their spouse, which is, a lot of people are worried right now, and hopefully with metaphysics we are able to give them some hope of the future. Yes. That they're, everything is cyclical, right? This too will have to come to an end someday. Okay, the question is, do we end up being better or end up being worse? And we have a choice.
What did we learn from this? And this will be a great side gig for anybody too. You have the Feng Shui Academy that you're opening up. I mean, I 100% recommend it to anybody. This is a great side gig. If you don't want to go full-time right away, it's a great thing to do on the side. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's how I started. Only a few years ago. I mean, I started 5 years ago doing this professionally.
Wow, that's so good. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Paula. I think everyone enjoyed, our conversation, and hopefully, they can rewatch this video again, and and forward it to all your friends who are aspiring to learn metaphysics, especially to learn metaphysics from Paula experiences. Right? She's and if you're a lady and professional, and you want to get started, I think she's a good place to start, and I think you'll probably get very inspired by her message. Right. One last advice for everyone. What's your message for the next couple of months for people in the States or around the world who are listening to you, especially women? One last message for them.
Very simple, Dato. Think about what the world needs and give it to them.
Right. That's a good advice. Yeah. Not what you need, what the world needs.
What the world needs. You want to know, forget about your passion. Forget what that I love, that I don't love, is my passion, my purpose. No. Find out what the world needs and give it to them. Give it to the world. Make a business out of it, and you'll be successful because there will be a demand for it.
Thank you so much, Paula. And right, I hope to see you again very soon. The moment
Hopefully see you soon in Malaysia. Thank you, Dato.
Thank you so much. So that was Paula Gomez, ladies and gentlemen. So you can reach her at masterpaula.com, and she'll be very happy to connect with you. And if you're from that part of the world, if you're a lady professional who wants to know more about Feng Shui, please get in touch with her. And thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to click on the subscribe button and click on the bell icon for notifications for more Forge in Fire interviews. And if you're watching this on Facebook, click on the follow icon and make sure you turn on notifications. Thank you so much. I'll see you again.